Welcome to What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande, and today we're making Caribbean-style turkey empanadas. It's What's in the Pot. So the first thing we're going to do is create our seasoning for our empanada filling. So I'm starting with some green onions and onions, and we're putting everything into a food processor. So all the ingredients that we're using to season the meat, we're going to put in a food processor. We're going to process it, not too fine, but a little chunky. Next, we're adding a Scotch bonnet pepper. You can use any kind of hot pepper. If you have habanero, it's up to you. Scorpion if you want to be brave. Then we're going to add about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And I'm changing it up and I'm adding about a teaspoon of fresh shadow benny. And I'm just going to throw the leaves in there. Now on my left hand, I have pimento berries, also known as allspice. On my right hand side, I have also known as pimento. In Trinidad, we call on the right hand side pimento, that's our pimento pepper we use in seasoning. On the left hand side, the pimento berries are traditionally what Jamaicans use in jerk seasoning. It gives that nice allspice flavor. It's also known as allspice, and I'm also going to add some paprika to give it a nice smoky and spicy flavor. Now you can see I have everything blended up, and I'll just take this off the blender and show you. It's not too fine, it's a little chunky because you remember all this is going to cook down when we cook the meat. So we still want it to have a little bit of nice texture to the filling. So I have my skillet on medium heat, and this is about half a pound, a little bit more than half a pound of ground turkey. You can use any kind of ground meat, it's really up to you. I like using the ground turkey, it's pretty lean, a lot less fat. And I'm adding about 3 teaspoons of our seasoning, and we're gonna let that saute up with the seasoning. It's gonna bring all those flavors into the meat. Add about a little less than a teaspoon of salt. Remember, salt is always for taste, so it's really up to you how much salt you want to add. Same thing with black pepper. I don't like it too salty, but I also just want to add a little touch, add some flavors. Now I'm adding some breadcrumbs. You can use any kind of breadcrumbs. These are some fresh breadcrumbs I did myself. I toasted it and I put it in the food processor. You're using about maybe half a cup of breadcrumbs, and we're gonna add that. That's gonna give it the texture. Another thing I'm adding is about a teaspoon of curry powder. It brings in the flavor. Like I said, it's a Caribbean inspired, so we're taking a little bit from every island and we're mixing it together. Now, one thing you want to use is that leftover seasoning in the food processor. Add some water, mix it up, put it in there, and now you can see I'm adding some vegetable broth. You can also use chicken stock, really up to you. And the last and final thing to give it that nice dark flavor, I'm using this caramel browning, typical, very common in Caribbean cooking. And this is gonna give it that nice dark flavor. You know, when you open a beef patty or a chicken patty, it's usually a dark color. The browning is what gives it that nice color. So we're gonna get everything cooked up and mixed up. And you're gonna cook this for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. You wanna cook on medium heat until the stock has been reduced. You don't want it too dry, but just leave a little bit in, because once it dries up, it's also gonna soak in that stock. This is our finished product. You can see there's still a little bit of sauciness to it. It's not too dry. And that's what we're gonna go ahead and fill in our empanadas. It looks absolutely delicious. Now for my empanadas, I'm just going straight up simple. These are the Goya empanada, frozen empanada skins that you can get at your grocery store. You can get at pretty much any grocery store in the States, or you may need to check a Latin market in Canada, or depending on where you are. So you just wanna fill the empanadas a half moon, then use a fork and press it down. And that's what pretty much we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and fill these empanadas up, and we're gonna put them in the oven to bake. So next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna add a quick egg wash to the empanada skins, and just 1 cracked egg, and just brush that onto the empanada. And I have my oven set to 350. I'm also putting them on this parchment paper and bake it for about 20 to 30 minutes until golden brown. So after about 25 minutes, our empanadas are done. You can see they have that nice golden sheen on it, that kind of slick shine to it. That's from the egg wash. They're perfectly cooked. You can fry them if you want. I like them baked, just a little bit more healthier. I'm gonna cut it open. You can see on the side it looks pretty much just like a beef patty. So we kind of played on the Jamaican beef patty with the Latin empanada with a little bit of a Trinidadian seasoning. So it's my take on empanadas. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's What's in the Pot. I'm your host, Sean Grande. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and send this to your friends and family. Peace.